Hello everybody, this is Chris with Overclockers Club. We've got a cool new power supply here from GAMEMAX. Now if you're like me, this is the first time I've heard of GAMEMAX. So I thought I'd check out the website and see what all they have to offer. And it looks like we've got quite an array of components here. We've got cases. Those are some interesting looking cases there. We've got power supplies, which is what we have today. We've got all-in-one liquid coolers. We've got air coolers, keyboards. Again, some more cases. And let's go down a little further here. Okay, so here's a whole list of what we've got. So we've got quite an array of cases, quite a few power supplies. We've even got monitors up to 49 inches. Cooling, again, we've got the liquid and air coolers. We've got fans, keyboards, mice, headsets, gaming desks, gaming chairs, mouse pad. So we've got quite a bit of stuff here from GAMEMAX. So given the wide range of components that GAMEMAX has, I went to the About page and it looks like they've been around CES 2010. So sometime after that, it looks like the company formed. So they've been around a little while. So back to the power supplies. So if we click on the power supplies and we look at what they have available, there's actually an impressive number of power supplies here. And usually when you have this many, you have them that range from the entry level, lower efficiency, all the way up to the high end, high wattage, high efficiency. There is really quite a range. I'm surprised at the numbers and the different form factors here we've got. So yeah, these are not usually what you see in your standard cases. All right, well, let's take a look at the one we're actually looking at today, if I can find it here. Okay, so checking the box out, not a whole lot going on the front. 80 plus gold. It is RGB. This is the RGB Pro 5.0. And we look at the bottom here. Okay, this tells me within this family we've got 3 different capacities. This is the highest one, the 1050, so there's nothing higher than that in this particular family. We've got 850, 750, and nothing below 750. So you got 3 different flavors of this particular power supply. And let's see, if we look at the side, compatible with ATX 3.0, EPS 12 volt 2.92. So this is your power for your graphics cards. PCIe 5.0, your NVIDIA graphics cards, I should say. PCIe 5.0 ready for GPUs, 80 plus gold certified, low noise, 14 centimeter RGB fan. And on the back, we've got some information here. This is always nice. Some post that right on the box and other manufacturers don't. But this shows you ultimately when you size a power supply, bigger is not always better. Don't think that if you can afford the 1500 watt, that's the one you want to get. You really need to look at your system and estimate the total power usage of your system. And you want to pick a power supply so you are operating at 50%. Right in here is the 50% level of the load, of the rated output power. So for example, if this is 1050 watts, your system would want to draw at a maximum. To get into the maximum efficiency, you'd want to draw between 500 and 600 watts to stay within this range. Now you can see this is a pretty narrow band here. There's not a lot of slope to it. So even if you're operating over here or you're operating over here on this side of the curve, you're just a couple of percentage points outside of your maximum efficiency. So your power bill is not going to go up, a huge amount if you're over here or over here. But this is just a general rule when you're sizing. And the takeaway is bigger is not always necessarily better. And like I mentioned earlier here, we've got the 3 different versions, 750, 850, and 1050 wattage here. And this is a little chart that shows you the different characteristics between the 3 models. This shows you all of the different connectors that are in the box, and we'll look at that when we get the box open. And you can see between the 3 different versions here, you can see if you've got a need for different cables, and they pretty much have the same Same cables here. The 1050 looks like we got a couple more cables for SATA if you've got something that needs more SATA plugs, and we've got for your PCIe we've got an extra cable here, whereas the other two versions have 3 each. This one has 4, so this one has the most cables. All right, let's get the box open. Okay, so there's the power supply. We have a very crinkly bag of cables, some tie wraps, and some mounting screws. And it looks like this is for, yeah, this is so you can synchronize your RGB, I'm assuming, to your motherboard. So this is a little interface for that. And then here's the power supply, and it comes with a little manual here, a little user manual. Usually these are just very basic installation instructions. Yeah. And then on the inside, yeah, there's the same specifications that we saw in the box, along with some dimensional info. And the rest of it, there's your cables and connectors. But yeah, these are pretty basic. All right, so let's see what this looks like out of the bag. It's got some weight to it. Usually your higher wattage power supplies are heavier. In fact, let's see how much it weighs. All right, we'll put this on my handy dandy scale, and it looks like we are about 1.6 kilograms. And let's take a look up close. Looks like the bottom of the case, we've got our specifications, so if you need to do a quick reference, you don't have to dig around for it. It's right there on the case itself. Let's see, so there's the RGB light, so it looks like you can toggle the RGB lighting on and off. There's your main power, kind of recessed in there a little bit. And on the other side, so this is where all the action's happening. There's that connector for the Aura Sync, which goes to the motherboard. So here we've got our main connectors that go to the motherboard. We've got your CPU power, so we've got 3 of those connectors, plus 2 more PCIe on the top here. Then we've got the 12 volt high power. This is for your latest NVIDIA 40 series graphics cards, and soon to be 50 series. And these are your IDE and SATA ports. So we will get some power to this and see how it runs. Okay, so now I will stress the system. I've got an RTX 4090 here for the GPU, and we'll be using MSI combustor for that. CPU will be using Prime 95. The goal here is to put as much wattage as I can. There's about 400 watts on the graphics card and about 100, maybe 120 on the CPU. Then I come up here and I look at the voltages and see how much deviation there is from when the system is at idle. So I look here, and then I don't really see much change when the system is under a load, which is good. You don't want to see much voltage droop. Minimal is what you're going for. And looking at the power supply, the fan's running pretty good. There's some heat coming out the side, but there really isn't much fan noise here. Actually, there's more sound coming from the graphics card. And normally when this is in a case, you won't really hear anything anyway. Okay, so let's take a quick look inside. Now, normally there's no reason for you to ever take the cover off, so do not take the cover off. You'll void the warranty, and there are no user serviceable components in here. So I'm just showing you what the inside looks like. I'm more of a mechanical engineer guy. I know enough electrically to identify some of the components, capacitors, transformers, things like that, but I also know not to touch anything in there. So we'll take a quick look at the pricing here. Right now on Newegg, it lists for $160.99. Sometimes you'll find these things on sale, so you want to keep an eye on the pricing. But if we sort of look around at other power supplies that are of the same wattage, and they're right in that same zone of $160, $170. Here's one here. This one's looks like it's on sale for $104. I don't know much about that one, but the pricing that I see here on this unit looks to be in line with what I see on similar units. Okay, back to the website. If you want more information and more details, you can check out the page for this particular product, and there is a lot of information here. It talks about the 80 plus gold certification, 105 degrees C capacitors, which is pretty standard, 90% efficiency, up to 90% I should say. Fully modular, PCIe 5.0, 5.1 ready, reliable safety protection. So, like I said, you can kind of scroll through here and get some deeper dive into the details. I pretty much covered everything they're talking about here. So, this is one thing. You always want to make sure that your power cable for the GPU is fully plugged in, fully seated. You want to pay attention to that. And as we scroll down a little more here, you've got the RGB effects that it talks about. 140 millimeter fan, 25 lighting modes. There's the little button that we pushed on the side. Different functions. And then if you've got an Asus motherboard, you can connect the special cable there to the motherboard. Yeah, it's included. Compatible with Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, and other mainstream motherboards. So you look right here for this special fan header, or RGB header, I should say. And that's what you want to connect to. And again, fully modular. There's your cable, bill of material. And let's see, comprehensive circuit protection. Here's the basic specifications, and that's about it. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this GAMEMAX smart power supply, 1050 watts. And any more with your higher end GPUs, you need the extra horsepower from a higher capacity power supply to cover your graphics card and your CPU. So overall, I like the power supply. It does what it's supposed to do. I would give it the Overclockers Club Gold Award. This is Chris with Overclockers Club. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.